Hey guys, I am back to wrap up Ethany's 31 Days of Tarot 2020. So in this video, I will be covering days 21 through 31. The prompt for day 21 is your favorite 3-card tarot spread and why is it your favorite? I would say one that I use a lot is the decision spread. So the first card is, if you're deciding between two options, the first card is a message about option A. The second card is a message about option B. And then the third card is which option should you choose? And I'm a pretty indecisive person. So it's that spread has come in handy. Prompt for day 22. Your top 5 tarot decks of 2010 through 2019. As I just said, I am indecisive, and so I don't have a top 5. I have learned that when it comes to decks, what I think is at the top of my list one day could easily change the next day, and so I'm just going to go with my 2 top decks. Because these 2 decks I know are going to be in my collection for the next decade, or at least I think they are. They are not leaving my collection anytime soon. And so the first one is my Llewellyn, which I've shown before previously in this challenge. And this is a deck that is sentimental to me because I learned tarot on this deck. I mean, this deck is the first deck that I felt like I truly bonded with. And I just loved all of the imagery, and I was able to have the tarot click for me in a way that I just, that wasn't working before. So this is a deck that even if I end up maybe not using it a whole lot or ever, I just can't see myself getting rid of it just because of the sentimental value of it. And then, if you know me at all, you can probably guess the other deck, and that is my Everyday Witch. Surprise, surprise. My soul deck, my ride or die. This deck has been a reliable and true friend to me, and she's always there for me, and she's always out for me to reach for. I never put this deck away. So, yeah, I can't imagine this deck ever leaving my collection either. Day 23. Your top 5 Oracle decks of 2010 through 2019. So the same thing applies here as well. I don't have 5. I have 3 that I felt pretty solid on. So the first one is the Wisdom of the Golden Path Oracle. And I've modified this deck. I've trimmed off the borders. This was like one of the first decks, Oracle decks, that I feel that I really used regularly in the beginning of my kind of Oracle deck journey. I feel like the keywords really spoke to me and were really flexible to my intuition and in receiving clear messages. And I think the images are pretty. And so, this is not the perfect deck, but certainly I felt like I got a lot of use out of this one just because it was, for me, an easy reader. And yeah, I used it a lot, and then I haven't really used it all that much in the past year, if at all. Have I used it at all? I can't even remember, but it does have that sort of sentimental feeling to it, just because it's a deck that I remember like, oh, I finally get it now. I finally get why people like Oracle decks so much, because I do feel a connection to this one. The next deck is Love Your Inner Goddess Oracle. I've modified this deck, so I have chopped off the titles, and then I pasted a portion of the guidebook, the text from the guidebook, onto the back of the card to make it a double-sided deck. So this deck is great for just gentle and kind messages. I treat it as an affirmation deck, and so say, self-love September comes around, this is a perfect deck for that. I am a huge fan of, these bright colors. I like this style of mixed media art. And I like double-sided decks apparently, because I have a couple. The last Oracle deck is a pretty biased choice because it's the one I made for myself, and that is my Cup of Contemplation cards. This is a deck that asks questions instead of providing keywords or phrases. I was looking for a deck that did this, and ones that I came across just weren't my cup of tea, if you will. And so I made my own. And I've really been having a lot of fun, and I've been finding a lot of value in working with these. So of course I am. I made it 24. Your top 5 tarot books of 2010 through 2019. I don't have a lot of tarot books. So I'm going to, once again, not give you 5, but 2. 2 that I have worked with the most, so I would consider them my top 2. I have a couple other tarot books that I haven't finished or haven't even started. So these 2 I have used a lot. And the first one is Going Beyond the Little White Book. And this one was pretty pivotal in my tarot learning journey. And it's, I have a book review of this, yes. But yeah, it's just so accessible and wonderfully written and contemporary. And I learned a lot from this book. And then the other book is Holistic Tarot by Benebell Wen. It's great for shoulder presses. Ooh, did you hear that? See? Okay, so to be honest, I have not, I have not read this book in its entirety. I've read a good chunk though, and I constantly come back to this as a great reference resource. And also if I need to do some, tricep work or, it's a great resource. So if you haven't picked it up, you should definitely don't let this thickness intimidate you, because it intimidated me for the longest time, so I held off, and I regret doing that because it's so good and I could have learned a lot more a lot sooner. 25. If you could meet any tarot creator author, who and when? Well, speaking of Holistic Tarot, I would love to meet Benebell Wen. So Benebell, if you're ever in the DC area, definitely hit me up and we will grab a cuppa or, some drinks. I don't drink, but I can watch you drink. And I can pick your huge brain and we'll have a good time. And then I would also like to meet, and I know I'm cheating, whatever. I would also like to meet Jamie Sawyer. I would love for her to take me into her workshop and show me like the machines she uses and like the tools and, just the process of how she creates her beautiful products. And I would also love for her to take me to her tattoo shop and then give me a tattoo. That would be cool. 26. Show us your tarot journal if you have one. I do have one, and this is it. I finished another one that I tucked away somewhere. So this is the one I started in 2019. And just like my other notebook, it's very, it's just a dump. It's a very disorganized dump of anything and everything that I want to put in here. So you have some spreads. You have notes that I've stuck in here from when I was learning numerology and Marseille. What else? Lenormand notes. More spreads. Deck interviews. Yeah, just more Lenormand. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I try not to be precious about my journals, or else I would never be able to finish a journal. 27. What is the strangest place you read from 2010 through 2019, and tell us about the reading? I don't have any strange places that I've read, at least not that I can recall. They're usually pretty normal. I don't know what would be considered normal. Normal places, somebody's place, my place. Usually those are the two main locations that for my readings. So 28. Ever turn someone from a tarot non-believer to a tarot enthusiast? No. The people who come to me for readings, AKA my friends, they wouldn't come to me unless they, were open to the idea. And Matt, I would say Matt was a skeptic for sure. And I think though he has opened himself up to seeing tarot in a different way, because he's seen how I use the tarot and I've explained to him how I've used it and the different ways you can use the tool. And so I think now he's more open to tarot. He certainly likes looking at the art in the decks, and it's really cute if you see something on TV or in a movie where they're using tarot, he'll point it out to me, and so I think that's cute. 29, your top 5 underrated tarot decks. I do not have 5. Once again, most of my decks actually are pretty popular. I did choose one. Certainly people have complaints about it. I've heard the same complaints over and over. And that is this deck, which now I can't even remember the name. Something about moonlight. Holy shit, what's the name of this deck? Tarot of the Moonlit Garden. Tarot of a Moon Garden? I think. Oh my God. Well, anyway, you recognize this deck, right? You're familiar with it. And so people really hate these borders. Just hate them so very much. People also have complained that the imagery just isn't sharp enough. The resolution needs to be better, that it's too busy, you can't make out things. And I hear that. I do hear it. And those same things just don't bother me. Like I don't think anything about the borders. Sure, if US Games came out with a borderless edition, yes, I would buy one for sure. But the borders just don't bother me all that much. And I'm fine with the resolution. Yes, I think, sure, if they made a clearer version, I'd be on that. But this is a deck that really makes me happy. I think it's so storybook, Fantasyland. It's just totally my kind of deck. So underrated? No, but maybe sometimes underappreciated? I don't know. It's the best I can do for this prompt. 30. What tarot card do you feel best represents you in terms of art, meaning, vibe, and why? So the card that I chose to represent me in my current state right now is the Seven of Cups from the Naked Heart Tarot. And the reason I chose this particular image from this particular deck is because this is my headspace right now. My head is definitely in the clouds. Lately, I just have not been able to really focus. I have just been wanting to do projects and create and play. And work has been hard to go to because I don't want to work. I want to play. I want to explore this. I want to do that. So this has been my headspace for the past couple months. Yeah. Finally, the last prompt for day 31. What are your tarot goals for 2020? One goal of mine is to really get a better handle on astrology and to actually just fucking understand it. I don't understand it. And so I want to read and I want to study and get to a point that I'm comfortable with astrology and, using it with the tarot. I have YouTube videos like marked and saved to watch. And, I know that Maha has a wonderful set of videos and I've already seen a couple, but it's like, I need to revisit and focus and really dedicate some time to that. And then also I plan to hopefully have a tarot deck created for myself. So in the same vein as my Oracle deck, I've already created a Lenormand for myself. Same style, kind of the vector imagery, since girl can't draw. And the prototype of that is on its way at some point, so we'll see how that looks. And then same thing with the tarot. I've already conceptualized the kind of imagery that I want for tarot. I want it to be quite a simple tarot deck. And again, going back to the Seven of Cups from like the last response, that is just where my head is right now. I'm having fun creating decks for myself. And so I think that, by the end of 2020, I will have created an Oracle deck, Lenormand, and a tarot deck. So just having fun. I hope you enjoyed this wrap up, and I am still trying to catch up with everyone else's videos. So don't be surprised if even after the challenge has long past, you will be seeing comments from me, because there are so many people who have participated, and I do want to watch everyone's videos. I think this is such a great challenge, and I love hearing what people have to say. So you might be seeing me around even after this is done. So, all right, until the next time, much love. Take care.